Yeah, I know, it's tough being a cat. But anyway, I'm going to give an update on something that's actually news from December of 2012. And it was an interview. One of these secret interviews, all right? I don't know how secret it is. It's on the internet. But it was supposedly an interview with a Department of Homeland Security insider. But I'll cut right to the chase on the very end of the interview because it applies to what happened in the markets this Friday. He goes, and I'll display the link. You can read the whole article. It's got a whole bunch of stuff in there about everything you heard on the internet before. But he says, when are things going to really start taking place? Like, calamities and downfall and, the whole sky's falling. I says, I can't give you a date, but I can tell you to watch things this spring. In other words, spring of 2013. Start with the inauguration of Obama and then go from there. Watch the metals. When they dip, it will be a good indication that things are about to happen. And he goes on to say, I got that little tidbit from my friend at, and it says redacted, so I don't know what the hell that means. But it's kind of interesting. And I think you should take a mental note of it and actually, who the hell knows. But he goes on to say there's a lot of people on the internet causing dissent and hate and stuff like that because part of the little plan. And I kind of mentioned about, that's why I'm very suspicious of these Jewish conspiracy theories. I think they're being set up. I'll say that again, even though, I don't know, people probably lose subscribers over that, but who the hell cares? But I'm telling you the flat out truth. I ain't playing. Nobody's paying me to say that, okay? But the other thing is, it talks about, another shooting like Sandy Hook that might happen and stuff. It has about basically the internment camps, re-education camps in the United States, and it has a whole bunch of stuff. But the thing is, on the end of this damn interview, it did state about, I can't give you a date. I could tell you to watch things this spring, in other words, this spring of 2013. Start with the inauguration of Obama and go from there. Watch the metals. Now, actually, I could tell you coffee dipped too. I mean, agriculture dipped, all the commodities dipped. Because watch the metals. When they dip, it'll be a good indication that things are about to happen. So, that was the very end of the interview. So, I have a tendency, some people get drama, right away. I'm kind of like, I saw this thing a while back, and I took note of it, and I'm like, could be a pile of bullshit. I don't know. It's got a lot of crazy stuff in here, but it could be somewhat true. I mean, we do know that DHS seems to like to be preparing for a long, protracted war with something. And I personally do not trust the financial system in a lot of ways because it doesn't seem like there's real production of goods going on the way it used to be. It seems to be like a paper system. Basically, the numbers look great, but the reality seems to not be there. So that's one thing I suspect, So I'm looking at this article right now, but it looks like, it could be, even if you have an insider, it may not be the right accurate information, even if he is an insider and even if he's honest. But it's pretty interesting if you want to read this article, but in the very end, I'll have to point out, it just says, watch the metals when they dip this spring of 2013. It's going to tell you when things are really going to start. And to tell you quite honestly the truth, I don't think the markets, I think people are being set up right now in the markets and to hold dollars. And just the very simple fact that central banks are buying physical metals like physical gold, that's telling you something. That's actually not just telling you something. They're doing that for a reason. And it's quite obvious, it's probably going to be a safe haven. That's just typical. Just remember what happened even in the Weimar Republic of Germany. Gold dropped before it went ballistic up. It dropped. It dropped. So, and I've stated this before, I think what's going on too is they're playing a long, drawn-out game where to keep people, like every time QE goes longer and longer, they accumulate more and more real assets. So, and actually even right now, even with real estate, they're making it easier and easier for people to get loans. They're trying to really force people, hey, get loans, get loans. But you know what'll happen? These people put in all money into this stuff, and they're never owning the title to that asset. And this is going on right now. They're actually reinflating the real estate bubble a little bit. And they're encouraging people to take loans, and they're encouraging financial institutions to loan the money to them. And it's what's going to happen is the top people in the Federal Reserve is actually going to wind up buying these later on as troubled assets. So it's quite obvious what's going on. It's an exchange of paper for real goods. So if you think the paper is actually the safety, I don't know, you want a paper car, you can drive around a paper car. You need steel, metal, tires, wheels, just like you need real physical gold and silver. But this is interesting at the very end. I can't give you a date. I'll repeat it again. He says, how soon do you think things will start taking place? He goes on, they're already in motion. If you're looking for a date, I can't tell you. Remember, the objectives are the same, but plans, well, they adapt. And that, I could pretty much say that's the way things are. Anything. Like if you have a business plan, you got a business plan, but you adapt to the situation. You go where the profitability is. They exploit. Yeah. Exploit the situation. And just like anything. Watch how this fiscal cliff thing plays out. This is a run-up to the next big economic event. I can't give you a date. This is where the last line goes on. I can't give you a date, but I can tell you to watch things this spring. Start with the inauguration and go from there. Watch the metals. When they dip, it will be a good indication that things are about to happen. And he got that little tidbit from his friend that's some redacted. It's like not said. So this could be BS, but I'll display the link. It's from the Canadian Free Press. But it was printed back in December of 2012, and people forget about it. I don't forget about it. If this turns out to be total bullshit, I'll remember, just like Lindsey Williams said too. I have a memory like an elephant. So, but it's interesting.